truly a blessing. I'm very happy that I'm sticking around the Carolinas. I love it here, and I think we have a bright future ahead of us. So I'm excited that I can be part of it.
Taylor, I know that getting it done kind of came down to the wire. What was your involvement? Did they just tell you when it was done, or what was that day kind of like for you?
Yeah, the decision came down pretty last minute, but I knew in the back of my mind that the Carolinas were wanted to stick around, and the deal was wonderful. So it was it turned into a no-brainer for me to stick around the Carolinas because, like I said before, I love it here, and I'm just excited to be part of something that I think could be special.
I know when you talked during minicamp, you kind of let your agent handle a lot of that. As the process dwindled down, did you get more involved and say, hey, I want to get this done?
I mean, ultimately, I did get more involved after OTAs and chatted more with my agent about it. But I think I have one of the best teams in the NFL, and I cold-heartedly believed in him and them. And I just knew that my job was football and his job was the other side of it. So I just stuck to what my motto was since I got in the league, was just keep controlling what I control and let the rest of it handle itself for the most part. So
Taylor, do you know what the plan is moving forward? Are they going to keep you at right tackle? Are they going to move you left tackle? Do you have any idea what the plan is?
I'm ready for wherever the coach puts me, just like my rookie year. Coming in, I don't know where they might put me or where they want me, but I'll be as ready as I possibly can be, wherever that may be.
Is there any expectation that you might get reps on the left side like you did in spring?
Well, I guess we'll see. I'm ready if the opportunity presents itself.
Taylor, what makes you think this is one of the best teams in the NFL after you went 5-11 the last 2 years?
I think we have something special because the tremendous players we have, the chemistry we're building, the coaching staff, the culture that we're building here. So I think it's something truly special. So.
I think one of the concerns heading into this season was the left side of the offensive line. Why do you think that may not be the case if you don't think that's the case?
Well, I'm sorry.
I think one of the worries going into the season was the left side of the offensive line. Why do you think that might not be the case if you think that?
Well, wherever the chips may fall, I believe in our room, in our O-line room, and however the starting five pan out, I believe it's we're gonna be a great unit, and I'm gonna just play my part and do what I can to help us be the best unit that we possibly can be.
What is it like for you guys to be back here in Wofford, and what kind of added benefit is it to have this time together in the dorms?
It's kind of a trip down memory lane a little bit since we missed it last year, but I'm excited to get to work and finally put the pads on, the helmet on, and just get after it again. So.
Taylor, how do you describe the Wofford experience to guys that are just coming in that were maybe asking you about it as you?
It's different. Like, I guess just tell them, make sure they're hydrated, make sure they're ready to go, because if you've been down here, Spartanburg gets hot. So just make sure you're ready for the practice. Make sure you're tuned in for the long days. But I mean, like, they went through it in college, right? Maybe not as long as it is in the NFL, but you get a taste of that camp life. So I just tell them, just focus on just being the best version of yourself you can be, and just be coachable, and just come in and be as consistent as you possibly can be every day, day in and day out. Just find little things you can, work on, because the little details can turn into big details at the end of the day.
What will it be like Saturday night to have the fans back watching you guys cheering for you at practice after not having that a year ago?
I'm fired up about it. It's going to be awesome to see Panther Nation in full force come that Saturday. So or Friday rather. I know we're all excited about it.
During those 6 weeks between minicamp and today, did you, assuming you did some workouts, did you kind of work steps on the left side?
I went back to like my first couple years when I didn't know where I was playing, and I just told myself I want to be as prepared as I possibly can be on either side of the line. Shoot, Matt goes out, I'll be ready to snap the ball if I need to.
Taylor, what did those look like? How is that different than when you were training specifically for Rice?
It's different. Well, I don't know. Like, in the back of my mind, I always tried to be ready for wherever I possibly could be. Obviously, that opportunity might present itself a little more now left, because in the past years, whatever happened, they kept me right. But it's just, like I said, it's just feeling more and more comfortable just repping it out day in and day out until you know, you just feel like you got it down. And you can only do so much on air. It's going to come down to when you got, you know, like a real NFL pass rusher in front of you till you get like the real feeling down of it and get comfortable.
After last year not having OTA's minicamp, how much more prepared do you feel for this phase of the offseason as opposed to last year where you really only had that little bit before the season to prepare?
I think it was good to have OTAs to get some live reps out there for practice. But, you know, I just did everything I could to be as prepared as I can be, just like every season, no matter what the situation is.
When you said it was kind of last minute on contract, that deadline was 4 o'clock. How last minute was it? When did you know this was getting taken care of?
I think we got that deal done maybe 10 to 15 minutes before the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
It came down really close to the line.
What was that like for you? I mean, are you texting back and forth with agent or?
Yeah, I was on the phone with him, and you know he was talking to the Panthers, and yeah, it was a whirlwind of a day for sure. But like I said, I'm just happy that I got it done. I get to stick around the Carolinas.
Taylor, you've played with a lot of different quarterbacks over the last few years. What have you seen in Sam Darnold to suggest he's a good leader?
I think he's a tremendous leader. I think that I love his poise. I love how he carries himself around the building, the way he attacks today, and you know, I'm excited that he's on the team and I have the opportunity to be protecting him.
Any one thing he's done though that stands out as far as leadership in the huddle?
It's a culmination of a lot of stuff. It's hard to just pinpoint one, honestly. But if I think of something, I'll let you know.
You been able to hang out with Sam at all just in the offseason besides those years?
Yeah, a little bit here and there. Yeah, he seems like a great guy. You know, like I said, level-headed, cool. You know, good temperament to him.
Your early impressions of Cam Irving?
Cam Irving? I think he's a good player. I think great guy. Happy that, you know, like I said, happy he's on the team too. I think he's someone that can really help us out and be a big part of the O-line unit.
Taylor, what would it mean if Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy this season for this team?
It means a lot, you know. Obviously, he's one of the, if not the best running back in the game. So, really excited to have him back, and I'm gonna do everything I can to keep him as healthy as he can be. So, yeah, but I'm fired up to have him back. I know we all are.
Are you comfortable with all the protocols that you have to go through, you know, heading into camp?
Yeah, I don't have any problems with it. You know, I got my vaccine done, so that obviously makes things a little smoother, a little bit closer to back to normal. So I don't have any problems.
Been any frustration among the players that the protocols sort of seem to keep switching around, and now there's talk that even though you're vaccinated, you might face more frequent testing?
It's hard for me to speak on the other players and what they're thinking, but I know personally I don't have a problem with what's going on. You know, like I said, getting the vaccine makes things a little easier, makes it a little more back to normal.
Was it important for you to do that, and were there discussions among the team about that? I know y'all have a high rate, like 90%.
Yeah, well, for me personally, I just knew that it was going to be a lot smoother going through the season. I was going to be able to do more. I'm not holding the team back in any way, and also from like a family aspect, I feel like it's another layer keeping my family safe. You know, especially the older people in the family.
What's your one training camp must-have?
Oh, it changes through the years. I mean, I said it my rookie. I'll say it again. I guess the playbook. You gotta know what you're doing when you get on that field.
Taylor, this is more of a rookie contract type question, but you signed a big extension like that. Did you make a purchase after that deal comes through?
Well, I bought some land out in the Steel Creek area, so you know, I'm already getting the works with that house. I guess that's not really the first big purchase since the extension, but I guess it's close enough.
So you're building a new property for yourself?
Yep.
Were you holding off on that until you got the deal done?
I bought the land because I got it cheap, but there might be a few extra additions to it now. So there's, yeah.
Have y'all started construction yet?
No, not yet. You know, the blueprint's still in the works. But you know, I'm just worried about football now. You know, I'm in camp. It's full football mode.
Taylor, is it kind of nice to have that done and out of the way, the contract, know that, like, is it comfortable knowing that they wanted to invest that in you, like, going into, like, after dealing with that in OTAs and minicamp, like, how does that feel now to get that done?
Yeah, it meant a lot. You know, I really do appreciate this football team believing in me and, you know, organizations. And I'm just happy. All I'm worried about now is just being the best version of Taylor Moton I can be and doing my part in bringing a ring to the Carolinas. So.
there's an obvious sense of relief when you get that contract done, but is there any added pressure when you're one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the league?
Yeah, there's definitely some pressure, but, I recall someone said pressure is a privilege, so, I took that to heart. I had to step back and really understand that quote and realize, I'm in a blessed situation. And, I've learned there's a difference between pressure and stress. So stress is when you go out there and you're not prepared. You haven't done everything you can to be prepared in that moment. But when you have pressure, you've done everything. You put in all the work up to the event in hand. And at that point, it's just going out there and performing and doing what you've been doing because you have that confidence. You have that confidence knowing that no one can beat you if you're at your best, but you have the humbleness to know that if you're not, on your game, anyone can beat you. So.
You're a pretty calm guy. When was the last time you felt stressed like that?
Stress?
Yeah.
Shoot, it's been a while because football. I feel like it's more of a pressure than a stressor because of how much I prepare for it. Stress might be some stuff outside of football. Like maybe building this house. I don't know, it's a little stressful. I wouldn't do that.
Price of lumber's going up.
Price of lumber's going up. That's a bit stressful.
Yep.
To say the least. Yeah.
And what have you learned about Matt Rule over the last year that has impressed you? And what do you feel like having you guys here for this kind of experience is going to make him even more effective?
Yeah, he's a lead coach. I'm happy to be working under him, and I'm glad he's a leader going ahead. And I love the philosophies he's preaching, and ultimately I think we have a great team of guys. Both of the coaches and the players. So I'm excited to be part of the group.
Y'all good?
Yep.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Refreshing being able to, feel like there's some sort of normalcy here at camp, and just good to see everybody showing up and ready to roll.
I think you might be the first person that used the word refreshing to describe the weather here in Spartanburg. Any warnings that you gave some of the younger guys at OTAs and minicamp?
I think this is fun. Camp's the best time of the year when you really think about it. I think, every time you talk to somebody that's retired, they miss this. They miss just being able to focus on football and that's it, and hang out with the guys. And really, obviously there's worries, but it's all related to football. So the only thing to focus on is football and getting to know your teammates. So it's a fun time of year, and that's what I'm really excited for.
I think you had one of the most intense pump-up videos that you put on Instagram ahead of training camp. How excited are you to be healthy and just back out on the field?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Really excited. It's been a long off season, and obviously, unfortunate year last year. So just being able to be here with a fresh set and all the excitement is, it's fun.
What have you worked on between the end of OTAs and minicamp and now?
Oh, just everything. It's kind of a mix of everything, and really just focusing on becoming a complete running back.
How much contact have you had with Sam throughout this whole offseason, even after OTAs? How much have you guys stayed in contact?
A good amount. I know a lot of us stayed in contact for a while, and whether it's talking plays or just talking as friends. So, we always stay in touch.
As far as he goes, what have you seen as far as his leadership abilities? You had a lot of quarterbacks the last few years. What may be unique about him and his leadership?
Well, he's a great leader. I think he knows exactly who he is, and that's big. And I think he knows how to get the best out of everybody around him too. I think his poise too is something that's important at the quarterback position. It doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and that's something that we feed off of.
What's he do to get the best out of you?
Just put the ball where it needs to be. He's a great No, I'm kidding. He's a great quarterback who. I think he's really good at talking through things with guys, whether it's receivers or running backs, and protection stuff, and kind of getting a feel for each guy and what their ability is and what their capabilities are. And with that, adjusting his game or if he needs me to run a route at a different depth, he'll let me know, and nothing goes unsaid. So.
I know this is an odd question, but was there any silver lining with you being injured last year?
No, there's never anything good about, being hurt, but actually, yeah, I think there is. It teaches you a lot for sure. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about, you kind of are forced to, when you go through adversity, to, either fold or keep going. And, I think it was tough at first, but man, I learned so much, and, have such a big appreciation for this game and what it's given me. And, we'll never take that for granted.
Christian, this was such a new group last year. You guys didn't get on the field together at all until this time of year. What do you think the difference will be now that you've had many camps and OTAs together as the first part of the offseason?
Yeah, I think it's great just being able to see familiar faces and, knowing your teammates going into camp, knowing the offense going into camp, and just getting those reps is so important. I think practice is everything, and being able to, throw with the quarterbacks, being able to get with the O-line and go over different run schemes is just such an advantage that, we missed out on last year.
What did we not see last year from Joe Brady's offense with you kind of on the shelf? What do you think is kind of in store now that you guys can unlock, now that you've had that extra time?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. But I'm definitely excited about it. I know Coach Brady is such an amazing play caller and a great coach. So, with the weapons we have, I'm just excited to do my part and become the best running back I can be.
Christian, how often do you tell the rookies, what's experience? What do you tell them about their first training camp that you can give advice?
Well, it depends. Everybody's different, and everyone needs different things, but I think the biggest thing is just to enjoy this, and I think when you look at training camp as a burden, it's not going to be fun. Like I said, this is the stuff that you'll miss about football. It's the stuff that, when you look back to college, this is the stuff you miss. There's not another time in your life where you get together with your friends and play football and go to meetings and go through these dog days. And so really to enjoy the moment and to not get too hyped for it either, just be in the present, and that's really it.
Christian, I know you're always well prepared, but did you do
do anything different after the injuries last year, this offseason? Did you do anything different in your preparation?
I mean, you're always adjusting. For me, I'm always adjusting little things here and there based on how I feel. And it's really an on-the-move kind of adjustments. I mean, if I feel something in the morning, maybe we'll adjust a certain part of the run or a certain part of the lift. But it's really just staying true to who I am. I've had success. I've felt good in the past playing and training the way I train. And so it's also not overreacting. Injuries happen in football, and I'm so past that now that I'm just focused on this year.
What'd you think of Taylor's deal? And we always ask him what it's like to block for you. What is it like to
I'm so happy for him. Yeah, that was well deserved. I mean, he's a guy who does as much as you could ever ask. I mean, he's unbelievable in the run game. He's great in the pass game, and for me, makes my job a lot easier. So I was super fired up for him.
How much pressure do you feel after missing all those games last year?
I don't feel pressure. I think the biggest thing I feel is excited. I mean, I'm just so fired up to play football again.
Not pressure. Pressure.
Oh, fresher. Oh, I thought you said pressure. Fresher. Yeah, I mean, I feel great. I feel great. I mean, I think whether or not I played or not, I think I would feel great. But yeah, I mean, I do. I feel awesome.
What's it going to be totally comfortable to be out there practicing and have some fans cheering and hollering your name and stuff that you missed last year?
Yeah, we can't wait. I know we were talking earlier, a lot of the guys, just having fans and it just feeling like football again is definitely refreshing. So we can't wait to see everybody.
Are you totally comfortable with all the protocols and everything that's in place with the NFL that's put forth to keep everybody safe?
Yeah. I don't know if I have a choice, so I'll be comfortable.
On that, Christian, when we talked to you in June, you said it was a personal decision on the vaccine. You're here this morning without a mask. I guess we can assume you got the vaccine and what went into that decision.
I honestly still don't want to talk about it.
Anything else for Christian?
You mentioned trying to work on your game all around. What exactly does that look like? What in particular are you focusing on?
I think just, as a running back, you're always trying to find different ways to get an advantage, and as you go through the league, sometimes experience is good and sometimes it's bad. And so I think it's just figuring out exactly, what you need to, speed and strength are always things that you'll work on. Quickness are always things that you'll work on. And just mentally, becoming better at reading defenses. I mean, there's never work that's not going to be done. And there's always something to work on. So when I say complete back, I just mean really, trying to develop in all areas.
When you look around and you become one of the longer tenured players in the locker room, what does that mean to you, and are there extra responsibilities that come with that?
Oh, it feels good. I mean, it's weird that, I'm in year 5 and we have such a young team. So I guess I am a veteran on this team, but it definitely feels good. I think I've learned so much from the guys that have come before me, and now I have an opportunity to pass on a lot of that knowledge to them, and that's exciting. I love Wofford. I mean, you hate it, but you love it. This like I said, I keep mentioning it, but this is stuff you'll remember forever. So I'm excited to get with these guys and just try to develop a team that can go win games.
Is there anything specifically during training camp last year that you think this team missed by not being here? Like, what stood out to you as the biggest difference of not being down here?
I think just not getting to know your teammates. It's such a big part of this sport, and you have to be close with your teammates. That's the locker room's got to be tight, and having that now is something that's fun. It's making football what football is again.
What did you learn about Matt Rule that you didn't know this time of year ago?
I think Coach Rule's always been himself. I mean, he's an open book. He's a guy that you can always go talk to if you have an issue. He's a guy that is open to listening to his players, and so I will see. But Coach Rule's always been the same guy, and that's something that you want in a head coach.
You talk a lot about team goals. I'm guessing you set individual goals as well. Can you share what those would be for this 5th season?
Yeah, I don't ever share my individual goals. I feel bad, man. I'm not answering any of Joe's questions, but I don't share those individual goals. I like to keep those private. But definitely, I mean, as a team, always, the end goal is always every team's end goal. I think this is such a unique time of the year because every team has the same goal, and slowly, people start to fall off and people start to rise up. So I think that's the big thing is as a team being one of those teams that don't fall off and just continue to be consistent.
Christian, I think you told us in one of these preseason interviews over the years that you would choose yourself at number one as a fantasy football guy. So coming back this year being fresh, would you choose yourself at first again?
I mean, I don't play fantasy football.
Hypothetically.
But I mean, yeah, sure. I think everyone would answer that. I think the same way, and that's yeah.
You were ranked number 5, I think, in the ESPN poll of running back. How'd that sound?
Wait, isn't that you? Did you vote for that? You're ESPN, aren't you?
No part of
That's
that.
messed up, man.
I would have voted you number 1.
It's got your own people. Your own people vote you down low,
I would
man.
have voted you number 1.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Getting to know your teammates, as you mentioned, being in training camp. How has that helped you? How has that helped the team in the past? How did you see it in particular?
I mean, it helps a lot. I think when you show up on Sunday and you know the guy next to you, whether you think it or not, football is the most team game on the planet Earth, and you need to know that the guy next to you has your back as well as you have his back. And so, when the backs are able to get with the O-line and spend some time together, it creates a different level of bond where I know who this person is, I know his story. Gives you just another reason to continue to push. It's not about you. So I think that's the best part of getting to know a team and kind of continuing to grow that brotherhood.
Did you bring your keyboard with you, and how often are you playing piano? Is it pretty good?
They have a piano here actually, so I'll play a little bit when I have some free time.
Is it like a relaxing thing for you?
Yeah, it's very relaxing for me. It's it's something that I always enjoy doing. So it's a way to get your mind clear for 15 minutes, if that.
Guys, thank you, Christian. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
But not in dorms or anything like that. So kind of brings me back to college days in a way, and really excited to get going.
What was the off season like for you after the mandatory minicamp? What were some things that you were able to do?
Yeah, I think for me it was just, June and July are really the months, I think, to really ramp things up training-wise. So just getting stronger, faster, all those things, and then making sure I was staying on top of throwing, throwing 3 or 4 times a week.
Sam, you had talked before about not being vaccinated. Obviously here with no mask. Have you been vaccinated, and what led to the decision?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that. So, but yeah, that's all I got to say.
Did the NFL, with some of the rules they put in where you can forfeit a game? I mean, did that play into your thinking at all in terms of, you don't have to answer, but what, did it play into your thinking? Did it change your thinking at all when they instituted that rule?
No, I think for me, I was just making personal decisions the whole way. So that was pretty much it for me, guys, in terms of getting vaccinated or not. It's been a personal decision the whole time, and so I weighed my options and made my decision that way.
Sam, Matt said at the end of minicamp that they threw a lot at you in those sessions with the idea of maybe peeling back, or I don't know how you want to phrase that, but how did you feel coming out of that in terms of your handle on the offense, and now that you step into training camp?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to get those reps in OTAs and in mandatory minicamp to kind of see different defenses and different looks that way. And I think for an OTA and for a minicamp, they did throw a lot at us in terms of the quarterback position. It was great, because it forced us to learn the offense and learn the scheme. So I thought it went great, and just going to continue to build on that in training camp.
Sam, how have you grown as a quarterback since taking your last snap with the Jets?
Yeah, I think for me it's just watching tape, getting better by watching, what I did wrong, how I can improve, and also, what I did well, and just continuing to improve on those things as well. So it's just watching tape and then making sure that I work on those things throughout the offseason.
Where's your greatest improvement have to come from?
I think just making smart decisions as a whole, whether it's getting out of the pocket and realizing, the play's not there, I got to throw it away, to making a play happen and running down the field and understanding that sliding is probably the best option. Not taking any more hits, and I think just the idea of prolonging my career as long as possible is in my best interest right now, and I think that's kind of where my head's at.
So it's not competence; it's more risk management, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything. It's everything. I think I just need to make better decisions when things break down. I get outside the pocket, and when I do run down the field, and in my head, I feel like sometimes, I can make a guy miss, but for longevity reasons, I think sometimes a better decision would be to slide.
Sam, in talking about all the stuff they threw at you in OTAs, do you feel like you're a lot better able to process that information now than when you were a rookie, and how does that sort of manifest itself?
Yeah, I think, with experience, you only grow. So through that, with my rookie year, kind of being the first year that I've really experienced an NFL offense, there was a lot thrown at me, and honestly, it was kind of a blur. But, now, going into year 4, I feel so comfortable being able to grasp an offense that I haven't learned before, and just running with it.
Sam, how often have you been able to interact with guys like DJ and Christian? Obviously, you had rapport with Robbie before, but how often have you been talking with them since you signed with your deal?
Yeah, a ton. I mean, we're always in conversations with each other, and whether we're on the field throwing at a different location, or whether we're just talking or FaceTiming through the phone. So.
So you just talked about being more comfortable. What's your confidence level like heading into this season compared to other years, and how did you get to that point?
Yeah, I'm super confident. I think going into this training camp, I think the whole idea is just to get better every single day, and that's where my mind's at right now. So I've always been confident. I've always had confidence in my game and in myself. So that's never going to change. I'm just going to continue to learn the offense every single day and continue to grow with my teammates.
That said, is there still a sense of pressure? I mean, coming into a new organization, and is there some added pressure at all?
I mean, it is what you make of it. I think, anyone, outside looking in can say, oh, there's pressure on him, he's got to win, all that stuff, which, that's true. But at the end of the day, it's me going out there, it's doing everything, like I just said, that I can do today to get better. And at the end of the day, making smart decisions on the football field and leading my team down the field and scoring touchdowns, that's my job title. So I'm going to do the best that I can to do that.
Sam, what will you take from your New York experience that you think will make you better prepared here?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, it's just, growing from experience and, taking everything bad that happened there and everything good that happened there and making the most of it.
Maybe one example of that?
Nothing that I can, think of off the top of my head, but just learning from every experience that I have and growing from it.
Is there a different sense coming into this training camp because it's with a new team, and whether you've been in New York or not, you would have had your third coach in 4 years, third head coach in 4 years. But was there a different sense coming in? It's almost like maybe when you were a rookie because it's such a new team and you didn't know many people?
I think for me it's just, I've been on teams where I've had to learn, different guys and where guys are from, have conversations like that. So when I first got to USC, it happened. When I first got to the Jets, it happened. And then, year after year in New York, you meet different guys. So, I mean, it's nothing that I haven't done before. So, like I said, just going to continue to grow that rapport with my teammates and go from there.
How hard is it, though, to have 3 head coaches in 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think for me, it's understanding, okay, what do I have to do to have a great year and lead this team? And I think that's really all I've thought, going into every single year, and that's not going to change.
Have you allowed your mind to wander? I know it's only 7-8 weeks away, but what it will be like to suit up against your former team on opening day, knowing all that goes into that?
Oh, yeah, you visualize it. As an athlete, I think, when you start to head into training camp and, not yet, but when you start to put the pads on and it starts to feel real, you start to visualize that first week and winning that first game. So, just the fact that it's the Jets, I think that's just a coincidence, but, that's never changed for me.
How hard is it? Is it a revenge? I mean, What comes into that? What are your thoughts on that?
Nah, it's just next opponent for us, and you know, that's my mindset going into it.
You don't think the league office had you particularly in mind when they scheduled that game?
I'm sure they did. You know, because at the end of the day, it's reality TV. But I'm excited to get out there and start playing football.
Sam, I'm curious for you, it was a lot obviously with the trade and then coming right here and kind of getting going this past few weeks. Did you kind of take a break mentally to kind of take a second and take a breath, or what was that kind of like?
I mean, you gotta be careful with that because you don't want to take too much time off. But yeah, I think, you know, once mini camps ended, I think that's kind of your time to step away for maybe, you know, a few days or so. But you know, like I said, June, July are the months that you want to start getting after it, the way our season's set up. So that's what I did. You know, I was just training and doing all those things, looking at the playbook. So, you know, I had some time to relax for sure, but definitely wasn't, you know, checked out.
Did you really hit a golf ball off of a tree stump?
That wasn't me. That was my friend Kyle Allen, plays for the Washington football team. So shout out Kyle, but no, I didn't do that.
Did he hit his drive there, or y'all just like?
No, he just saw the tree stump and he was like, all right, you know, I guess I'll hit it. He saw a little crevice in the tree, so thought he could put a tee down and hit it. Ended up, you know, being a pretty cool video.
Did you say hold my beer before he did it?
Something like that.
What are those summer workouts like with those guys and with Jordan, and did you work on anything differently this summer?
Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with weight distribution, making sure that, you know, I wasn't so far on my back foot that I was really, you know, even for the most part in my weight distribution, and just messing around with those kind of things, and you know, just continuing to throw routes. I think that's the biggest thing is the timing stuff as a quarterback when you get to take 5 in a hitch and just let it rip. So making sure we got some of those in, and then obviously off timing throws as well on the run.
Do those guys all crash at your place when they're out there?
No, they all got their own places. So that was the first couple of years before we figured everything out, but we're adults now, so we got to figure it out.
So what would you say is some leadership qualities you've shown since you've gotten here?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always just been a guy who's led by example, just doing the right things day in and day out.
I think that's why a lot of us ask about the vaccination, because some people decided whether that's a sign of leadership. Did you look at it that way, or?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think, you know, it's everyone's choice to be able to make whatever decision they want to make.
Did Kyle tell you a lot about his time in Charlotte?
Oh, yeah.
The Panthers?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of good things. Obviously, I'm not going to go into a ton of depth, but yeah, he said nothing but great things about, you know, this team and the city of Charlotte.
Sam, your comfort level right now with Joe's playbook, how much grasp do you have? I know you got the training camp to go, but
yeah.
How much of a grasp on it do you have?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable with it. You know, obviously there's a lot of room to grow, so I'm just going to continue to work on that day in, day out.
You have a couch yet?
I do. I do have a couch. Yes, sir.
One of the questions.
Yeah.
Sam, this is maybe almost too simple of a question, but how important is an offensive line to a quarterback's success?
Yeah, I think obviously offensive line's important. I think everyone's important, you know. I think as a quarterback there's so many things that you look at and you say, oh, this is why he didn't have success, or this is why he had success. I think for me it's just about controlling what I can, and here we have, you know, great skill, great offensive line, and a great defense. So for me, I'm just going to do everything that I can to control what I can, and that's kind of my mindset going into this camp.
It sounds like you don't like to make excuses.
No, there's no excuses to be made. You know what I mean? It's whatever the situation is, it is what it is, and I can't control that, and all I can control is how I play.
I think you were talking about in your workouts going off your back foot.
Mm-hmm.
Was footwork something you were working on this offseason?
Definitely, yeah, definitely working on a lot of footwork stuff. You know, making sure that when I do get to my second, third progression in the read, that I'm not leaning off my back foot, that I'm really staying in the pocket nice and firm, and that I can really get through the ball.
So you saw that in looking at film?
Yeah. Yeah.
Back foot kind of caused the ball to sail kind of thing. I know I'm simplifying it.
Yeah, I mean, when you throw off the back foot, there's not a whole lot of room for error in terms of your arm slot and your arm placement. So for me, it's really just about, you know, staying firm on both feet and staying strong in the pocket. And obviously those instincts don't go away. When I feel like I need to flush the pocket, I will, but for the most part, I'm going to do my best to just stay firm in the pocket and make solid throws accurately and on time.
How much of an issue was that in New York, and how much of that could be attributed to not having great protection?
You know what, I think, for me, like I said before, I've learned so much from how I played in the past and what happened in the past. I used that this offseason to get better. And, I've done just that, and I've been working on those things.
One more question.
Did you bring anything weird to training camp?
Anything weird?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about weird. I don't know what you would have to define weird maybe for me, but nothing crazy. I mean, no. I let that. Yeah, I let the other guys bring that stuff, and I don't know exactly what weird means, but I'm sure some guys brought it. Yeah, no, I kind of got the idea, but nothing crazy.
Sam, what are your expectations for the season for this team?
Yeah, I think for us, it's just doing everything that we can. Like I said, day in and day out, we can't. It's good to have lofty goals and expectations, but I think for us, it's really just coming in and day out and working as hard as possible and seeing where we go from there.
All right, thank you, Sam.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Appreciate you doing this.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
No, don't mind.
SoCal weird, probably.
I just remember coming in 2015, having older guys with 10+ years, and seeing how they carried themselves and just trying to take some of their traits and trying to give that to the young guys.
What for you does that look like?
Just the way you carry yourself on and off the field. I know TD is my big role model on that. I had Peanut Tillman, Roman Harper, Kirk Coleman, KK, so I had all those guys, and just teaching them the ways on how we do stuff, how the way you carry yourself, and take care of the ball at the end of the day.
Shaq, how good can this defense be? You got a lot of young guys, Burns, Chin, Brown.
I think we can be real good. The biggest thing is just communication, right? Defense, one bad play could turn into a big play. So the biggest thing is we all got to communicate and talk and be on one accord, and I think we'll be good enough.
How much did your unit grow within the season last year once you guys got more snaps on the field?
I think we grew a lot. Once we started figuring out and know that we can trust each other and really understood the defense and how they want us to play, you can see times where you're like, damn, they had their moments, and you see times like, God damn, like you look bad. But that's part of football. But I think this year all the guys have that mentality, that same mentality. Is like, yo, we got the dudes to do it, so why not? Let's go do it.
Shaq, how hard, looking back, how hard was that last year with not having minicamp, not having OTAs, getting here? Really, some of these guys probably hadn't even seen their faces to start training camp, right? I mean, how hard was it, seriously, to get ready for a season under a first-year coach?
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I mean, it was tough not to have really spring ball, really, and just kind of getting everybody together, trying to really introduce yourself, getting to know each other, and perform. You know, you just kind of had to go out there and just play for a random. You know what I mean? And now we did a good job just building this team together, really brotherhood-wise, and having team bondings, having players come over to my house and trying to build that team chemistry, and really go out there and play for each other, not just a random person. You know what I mean? I want to go play for Burns. I want Burns to play for AJ. I want AJ to play for Yetur. I want Yetur to play for Denzel. Hassan to play for JC. Or both all JCs, Chin, JC Carter. I mean, so I just want those guys and even myself just to play for each other. Shaq, in what way did you see, not knowing your teammates as well as you could have show up on the field in particular last year? Just not knowing where guys will fit. If they're going to be there, really just having that trusting mentality. On defense, you got to be able to really trust everybody. Or they're going to be in that spot, this pass off stuff, be in that gap. Not shoot out of that gap, not do this, not do that. So that's the biggest thing this year is we all going to trust each other.
Is the Ricky Bobby quote there an example of your expectations?
Shake and bake. That's what we're going to do, shake and bake.
But you got the, if you ain't first, you're last. Is that where you
Nah. Shake and bake only.
Shaq, where do you think this defense improved itself the most?
Last year or
over
this year?
Offseason?
I really think they really did a great job just attacking the free agents. They brought in a lot of great guys, D-line, especially secondary, and they kind of just putting it together. You know, they want to trust in this defense. You know, you can go a long ways with the defense, just holding the opponents. You know what I mean, to 21 points or less, or 17 points or less, or wherever your defense has a thing. So we're just gonna go out there, play ball, play fast, have that energy. I mean, we're young as hell, and why not? I mean, that's what everybody keeps harping on. Is like they're young. So you know what? We're gonna be young and we're gonna have fun.
Can that be a good thing?
It could definitely be a good thing. Once we get, we all understand situational ball, but once our situational ball just shoots up, hand to hand, young and situational ball is gonna be perfect.
What's it like walking into a meeting room and seeing, Denzel and seeing Hassan, and how much more helpful can they be to you guys?
I think they're gonna be a tremendous help. Everybody has to go out there and win a spot, right? Even myself, we all fighting to make this team. We all fighting for a starting spot. So whoever wins it, we're gonna go out there and play for each other, play with each other, and come together as a defense.
How much have you heard about Denzel's ticket?
I'm not gonna speak on that, but he had texted me right when he got it. And I was like, man, just call Eddie. I understand you got to get the training camp right. So.
How much of a benefit is it to feel comfortable in this defense? Like, what's the difference? How would you describe that to someone like having spent a year in this defense?
You understand what the coaches really want. You understand how they want us to play football. You understand techniques that they want you to do. You just understand a whole lot. Last year was kind of tough, going back and forth with them, how we see things, how they see things. But this year's just like, man, excuse my language, like, fuck it. We're going to pay attention to y'all. We're going to go off of y'all. We're going to listen to y'all, and we're just going out there and go play.
Is
No doubt. It's probably trust on their end, trust on our end, and you know, they're college coming in the NFL, and these guys in the NFL, you know what I mean? We know how the NFL works and stuff like that. But now, you know, this year we just, as you see last year, towards the end, we started coming together. I mean, Rule was saying some stuff, and I was like, damn, I see it. Like I see what you're talking about. And so this year we're gonna try to throw that out of there, and we'll just listen to these coaches and go out there and just play ball.
Shaq, there aren't that many guys on the roster who've been in Spartanburg itself. What does coming down here
It's hot.
3 or 4 weeks do to that bonding that you were talking about?
It just puts us all in just like one little area, you know what I mean? You get to know your teammates, you get to play cards games, you get to play little basketball games, and you just build that chemistry, you know what I mean? I want to know something about Denzel that nobody else knows. I want to know about his kids. I want to know about his mom, his family, and stuff like that, and he probably wants to do the same. I want to get to know AJ. I want to get to know J.C. Horn. So I just want to get to know them to make it seem like on the field, like we're brothers and not just business partners, you know what I mean? Trying to do the same thing. We're going to go out there and play for each other.
There's a level how important it was for your position group to learn at OTAs and kind of get that out of the way. Do you feel like you learned enough to take that next step here in training camp, or do you still feel like there's some catching up to do for the young guys?
Nah, I feel like we definitely take that next step. I do feel like the young guys, I mean, they're young, right? They got to get that experience. They got to go out here and get the exposure and play. And it's a different type of speed, right? Everybody knows football. Everybody knows the cues and all that. So the young guys is just repetition. You know, that's why we're here to help them out, make them get the knowledge and understand the game a lot more.
There's a level of energy that's coming from you. I don't know if it's different or like how good do you feel?
You want to know the truth?
I do want to know.
Yeah, I'm trying to get done with this interview.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just messing with you. But, man, it's just year 7. Honestly, these young guys kind of got me excited. Just talking to Burns, talking to Chin, and those guys is just like, that energy, man, just like, man, we got it. Like, we got the guys on the defense. You know what I mean? That triggers me and like, man, hell yeah, let's go. Like, I got y'all back, y'all got my back, and you know what I mean? When things get behind the linebackers, you know, we just call Chin. Chin.
Do you ever kind of look around and go, where'd everybody go?
No, because I understand it's a business, and I understand guys, you know what I mean? We're trying to get young, and the league is trying to stay young. So, like, all, like, the older guys, if there's not that many injuries, they'll keep you around. But if you got a lot of injuries, they're not going to keep you around.
Shaq, you keep using this word young. You're 27.
Yeah.
You're not 34
Yeah.
about to retire.
No, not at all. I feel old as hell, though. Like, I feel old as hell playing 7 years. But you're right, I'm only 27. I still got some, you know what I mean, miles. And you know what I mean? I'm like a 2015 Honda. I got like 15,000 miles on it.
Is there an example of something that the young guys have done that made you feel old?
Just hearing, like, them been born in, like, 2000. Like, you hear that, you be like, God damn. Like, in 2015, it's like, man, I just graduated high school. I'm like, God damn. Like, you know what I mean? Just, like, stuff like that.
Shaq, any concern about the NFL protocol with COVID or anything?
Nah, man, we're just going to go out here and apply by the rules. Vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, you're free. If you're not, then wear a mask. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's grown and got the decision. And I'm with everybody if you're vaccinated or non-vaccinated.
Shaq, you guys one of a handful of teams were at least 85% plus.
Yeah.
So what's that say? Did you guys get together and talk about that?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, guys made the decision. We talked about it in OTAs, and guys just made the decision.
Did you get vaccinated?
Did I get vaccinated? I can't tell you all that. That's my personal opinion, and that's my personal life.
Was the discussion in OTAs kind of understanding it's a personal decision, but also, I think Matt said this, that there are team ramifications to it?
Yeah, I mean, you know what you can do when you're vaccinated, and you know what you cannot do when you're not vaccinated. It's just a risk and a reward, right? And guys know, guys get vaccinated, they do. That's their decision, and I made my decision.
Shaq, different topic. Does this feel like a transition period for the NFC South, especially where quarterback play is concerned, with Drew retiring? I know Tom's still back, and so is Matt, but it feels like that they're not going to be there much longer.
I can't really, talk about them, but I can talk about us. We got a good quarterback, and I believe in him. I believe Sam Darnold's going to come in here and help us out.
Shaq, one question about Brian Burns. Seems like, I think we all agree, a player that's kind of on the cusp of maybe really breaking out and, getting his name across the NFL. How much does Hassan coming in on the other side, how much do you feel like that'll help him as well, take some of maybe that pressure off him?
He's just probably going to create a lot of one-on-ones. You know, somebody has to get double teamed. I feel like you talked about Burns, but I feel like Derek is also going to be a guy who's going to create a name for himself this year.
You mentioned Sam. What have you seen in him that stands out as a leader?
Everything. He has all the attributions, or he has everything, really. I can't really say much, but he goes out there, he works hard. He's trying to understand the playbook. He's making the right calls, making the right checks, getting everybody aligned, and yeah.
Why do you think he failed with the Jets?
Because he wasn't here.
You guys got any more questions?
He also talked about throwing off his back foot a lot and trying to work on his balance and everything between camp and now. OTAs and now. So did you notice anything during OTAs when he first started? Has he got better at it?
I'm not a quarterback coach, so I can't tell you how he's going to throw the ball or anything like that. All I can tell you is he's on my team. I'm going to have his back regardless, and we're going to rock with him regardless.
Who is the Cal Naughton Jr. to your Ricky Bobby?
Nobody.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.